The plots are getting thin, the acting hasn't improved, and all the same actors are playing different parts. Andy Sidaris tries to get straight to the point with the simply named guns, but has the well run dry? Is there anything left to glean from Donna Hamilton and whichever Abilene she happens to be sharing the screen with? In order to find out, we open back in good old Las Vegas, where Edie seductively invites us into her big black limousine via song. It's an intro song that is packed with hip rolls and knowledge.
The bigger they are, the harder they fall.
Is that a rule?
Don't play with guns, they ain't much fun.
True, that has to be a life lesson.
When the chips are down, no time for questions.
Hold on, I need a pen.
Doesn't matter who you are, it matters who you know.
Just hitting us with so many juicy nuggets we can barely get it all down. We then hook back up with Rico looking absolutely fluffy and somewhat sinister. Through conversation with Tito and Cubby, we learn that this is actually Degas now, Rule 241 in the flesh. Anyone can be anything at any time. He wants the boys to kill some federal agents for him, but not with the fancy technology they're known for. He's old school and he likes it quick and dirty. It's a simple plan, really. They'll head to Honolulu and take a charter into Molokai. Once there, he'll locate and identify their target for them, and then they'll kill him or her. He plays it close to the chest, but if the target isn't Donna, I will shit. They touch down and split up, which is just best practice per Rule 87. Good plans always require splitting up at some point. While he and Tong, played by a young Danny Trejo, if Danny was ever young, move closer to the kill zone. We find Donna and Nicole on their way to work moving cargo, which we haven't had the pleasure of witnessing in some time, and still will not. Nicole has a dinner date that evening and needs a sharp new dress. Just a gaggle of local girls having a grand old time on the clock. Degas rolls by real casual-like and gets a bead on Nicole. This was necessary because he identifies her to the boys via the dress she was temporarily trying on. They're to shoot her and leave a calling card for Donna. See? Simple. Although when the ladies bless a young honeymooner on her way out to have lunch at Rocky's, we get a pretty good idea of where this is headed, wasting a bunch of time donning disguises and lying in wait. Meanwhile, Degas slipped away to meet with his old Sifu and enjoy a little grab-assery.
We never took the time to enjoy the pleasantries.
Rule 432, and chief among pleasantries is sharing affectionate touch with the boys. Also, guns. Teacher is here to provide a little sample of the top-secret Chinese prototype he will soon be shipping to South America. He gives the product a little test run, but on a straw hut, so I'm not really sure what he learns from this. After all that prep and jaw-jacking about preferring more elegant means, Tito and Cubby get things over with in quick and brutal fashion. They kill their misidentified target, along with anyone who dares step to them. We learn that this is part of Degas' plan to clear the island of federal agents so that Sifu can use the local airport as a refueling station, as he transports the guns from China to their destination. The ladies cross paths with the boys on their way out. Nicole is always taking in small details from her surroundings. They only arrive in time to confirm time of death and retrieve the calling card. So it's pretty lucky they were nearby and first on scene, when you think about it. Nicole manages to spool up her brain gears and Sherlock the shit out of the situation, but the chaos and confusion bought the boys enough time to make it to the airport and get airborne. Unluckily for them, there isn't an aircraft in the world that Donna can't pilot. With a bit of help from the tower, they're able to triangulate the assassin's most likely destination and track their prey. But Cubby is very familiar with three-dimensional space, and he uses this to their advantage, losing the girls and forcing them to touch down and regroup. They reconnoiter with Shane and Christian at the airstrip. They're able to work out that Nicole was the likely target of this hit, but they can't figure out why. The card points them toward Vegas, which is likely a trap, but they have little choice and there are few deadly challenges they won't take head on. So they find themselves lifting off again in short order, so short that they were able to pack but not change, requiring them to do so in the cockpit. You can tell Andy finds this concept very erotic. He's returned to this well multiple times now. It's always fun to find out what gets a grown man off, you know? While they do that, Lucas works on assembling an elite team of counter-assassins. Edie managed to score a residency at a local casino, which she is very excited about, but he insists she take a pause to fulfill her governmental obligation to kill. They might find another agent via the brutal sport of oil wrestling, but it's honestly hard to tell because there is literally no relevant dialogue in this entire scene. Back at home base, the news reaches them that they killed the wrong chick. Very upsetting, but Degas keeps his cool and goes ahead and fills them in on all the info he should have provided before. That one's on him. They're back on the job but are to leave Donna alone. That one's personal and he wants to handle her himself with the purpose of revenge in mind. Cash really wants to take up this challenge and kill for Daddy, but all in due time. For now, he teaches us about Rule 78. The inner knee is the most sensitive erogenous zone. When the agents touch down the next morning, Tong is already there gathering intel. He also takes this opportunity to deploy his men for an equipment test, entrusting their most valuable weapon with their most mediocre henchmen. Upon engagement, the experienced counter-assassins immediately go serpentine, essentially rendering the weapon useless. This works until they dump out and have to abandon the bike. They regroup and do what they can to neutralize the attack until, as always, they're saved by a travel trunk containing a locked and loaded rocket launcher. The boys are sent straight to hell, but while hot to the touch, the damn Chinese assault rifle comes out relatively unscathed. Truly a work of fine craftsmanship. The other half of their current conundrum is solved when some weirdo driving a race car through the desert agrees to transport them to the nearest Ramada Inn. How quirky. Characters welcome, am I right? They convene as a group where Lucas, having a vital piece of evidence in the calling card, is able to identify its owner, a South American ne'er-do-well who goes by Jack of Diamonds. He's responsible for killing Donna's father, but also supposedly died in the process. He regales them with these classified tales while enjoying brunch at a cafe in public, with the secret commie assault rifle wrapped up in a towel nearby. They just need a few more pieces to fit this puzzle together, so they all agree to probe their various contacts for intelligence, while Donna goes to meet with the Nevada Attorney General. Turns out Catherine has a bone to pick with her about how their various missions tend to be executed in a way that runs contrary to the concept of due process. A degree of self-awareness I was not expecting in this series. She gives them some harsh warnings about how they conduct themselves on her turf before sending them away. Oh, and also,
That bitch is my mother.
our cinematic universe just got a little deeper. Next, we follow Abe as he leverages his credentials to get in to speak with a couple of informants who might have the info they need. He brings the cow briefcase, which is pretty cool, right? He prepares for a cavity search, distracting them with some magic to help relax their sphincters. But they really start to piss him right the hell off, and he doesn't do things by the book. They wonder aloud who he is,
Who the hell is this guy? He's not a cop.
before he asks them if they know.
Do you know who I am?
Which makes you wonder if he's really open to hear what they have to say in the first place. Their continued obstinateness earns them a one-way ticket to the afterlife, really punctuating the Attorney General's previous concerns. Back at the room, Degas learns the prototype has been confiscated, but that was just a free sample. He has more on the way and is pretty much happy with anything that might keep them occupied on the mainland and away from the shipping routes, like successfully tracking down his assassins. Kim coordinates one of the sloppiest arrests ever recorded. The chaos is no doubt aided by her trying to nab the ladies while still encumbered by a slippery layer of wrestling oil. Some might say that she got pretty close to sealing the deal here, but when you really think about how this unfolded, it does seem that failure was the only option. Next, we find the gang has tracked Tong to Edie's show where a combination of surveillance and counter-surveillance appears to be underway. Still hungry for the taste of blood, Degas offers Cash the opportunity to come up in the org by killing Abe for what he did to their compatriots. As it turns out, Edie and Cash have a history.
You smell just as good as ever.
A catty and competitive history. Edie uses their charming little exchange to snap some pics of Tong's co-workers. Before heading back to examine the new information they've acquired, Shane and Brown go to get a few sets in at the hotel gym. While Donna's getting cleaned up, Liu and Chen arrive. Not the Liu and Chen from Do or Die, but in fairness, these ninjas are named Liu and Chen in real life. They run circles around her boys, but didn't anticipate Donna appearing with her peacemaker, and ninjutsu is no match for heavy iron. This turn of events causes Degas to not be angry, but disappointed, and he vows to raise the stakes on their asses the next day. And what does that look like? Kidnapping the Attorney General to keep Donna more personally invested than if he had just been attempting to kill her individually. And here they were planning on having a mid-investigative vacation to recharge their batteries. Instead, Cash skulks about in the shadows, waiting patiently. And when the time is just right, she strikes. And then, when the time seems right again, she strikes once more. Edie arrives before they have a chance to scour the crime scene and manages to pull a clue. The familiar aroma of lemongrass and sandalwood has her following the scent like a trail dog. It's okay that she didn't tell anyone about this because they're busy drawing their own conclusions. They now know that the Chinese gun they found is likely being smuggled into South America via small plane. And since Donna don't know nothing unless she knows small planes, she understands there would need to be a fueling stop and surmises they're being distracted from their homeland of Hawaii to clear the way for a big shipment. They're also gifted the information that Donna's mom has been kidnapped, so she's certainly not leaving now. Pleased with how this has all been going, Degas gives Cash her flowers.
I will reward you when I return.
And I will reward you.
And that's Rule 147. Everyone likes being recognized and rewarded for a job well done, even murderous wretches. He is positively walking on sunshine as he makes a trip out to gloat in Catherine's face. Unwilling to give an inch in this operation, Donna insists they break up into two groups, a clear indicator of an excellent plan. One to take on Tong and the Jack of Diamonds, and another to go back to Hawaii and interrupt the supply line. With a clear directive in place, Shane starts handing out their assigned guns to everyone but Edie, who they are just now noticing is absent. Beknownst only to us, she has a personal matter to attend to and leverages Cash's inexperience to demonstrate to her that this is no game for amateurs. Rule 59. Being an assassin is no game for amateurs. Of course, she has no chance to apply this lesson in her life, but that's another matter. As they wrap up their planning sesh, Lucas gives Shane another hearty shoulder squeeze in demonstration of Rule 99. Never be afraid to show that you care with the full-handed grip of your homie's shoulder meat. So they split up to execute the plan while Degas calls in a hit on Nicole. Again. Playtime's officially over. Even though Christian literally says he's stopping for sandwiches.
I'm gonna stop and get sandwiches for the flight back to Molokai.
Before they head back to Hawaii, the boys somehow know this is where they need to be to carry out their murder for hire. Luckily, Nicole never misses details pertaining to people's hands. This allows her to draw first, which is too bad. Cubby had only come to write dirty limericks on the bathroom wall, and now he's taken his last breath 6 inches from the reconstituted remains of a tequila-soaked prime rib casino buffet with all the trimmings, because Kathy likes to get her money's worth and never flushes a good meal. Back at Central Command, Edie fills Lucas in on what she did. As a result, the call goes out that the H is O, so no one makes a move on their own, but their stakeout pays off as they witness Tong arrive out back with Catherine in tow, and they also figure out that the Jack of Diamonds is Degas, which means that Degas killed Donna's father, and either way, they currently have her mother and have subjected her to untold trauma. Donna's not about being victimized, so she runs in with rockets at the ready. They intuitively know which suite would be his, but when they arrive, all they find is a radio that he uses to taunt them to come and find him. They end up going exactly to where he is, which is fine, because that's what he wanted anyway. Shane stumbles his way through a lethal game of cat and mouse with Tong, and while he slapsticks his way to an absolutely brutal victory, Donna teaches us about maintaining positional awareness so your various cuts can be seen in the right light by any potential cameras. Rule 316. When they square up for the final showdown, Degas tries to convince Donna that this is business and not personal.
Unfortunately, I take business quite personally.
But she's the one who should be taking it personal, no? Always 2 steps ahead, Donna trips the trapdoor and then uses the opening to full frontal blast his tits off with all 4 rockets, taking no blowback damage at all.
How did you learn to shoot like that?
Close range with a rocket? From the legend Rowdy Abilene, of course. Meanwhile, back in Hawaii, the B team is cleaning up the riffraff and putting a tidy little bow on this operation. Then, the good friends have an epic reunion on the beach. That was an exhaustive list of learnings from this operation. I challenge you to list even one more. It's impossible. And if you need to brush up on your survival education, be sure to check out this video next. Now that we're here, I wanted to congratulate you for making it to the end of the video. And if confirm that you are a very special person because of it. If you enjoyed the video, I would love for you to become part of the channel by subscribing. Thanks for watching.